Rodriguez de Jaga wants it back. He gets it back and leaves it through for Holtby. Oh, it's off the line. It's off the line.
I think the move for us now has to be to get a centre back because we see it game in game out like they're just getting exposed, and that happened in the West Ham game. Luckily, we won that game because of the second half performance. The first half, West Ham were actually playing some really good football, and Jared Bowen on the right hand side was absolutely excellent. Like he was turning tellers inside and out, and they took the lead rightfully so.
Yeah, I would blame Tellers, I think, for the first goal because I think he just, I don't know, he just not switched off. He just didn't give a
Yeah,
shit in the box. Yeah, I think he forgot that he was playing football and he just let his man run free. I think it was Suchek that scored.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
But this, you see this a lot with teams that defends only from set pieces, and uh, whenever this happens, like this, the players in the zonal system are very static. They're trying to cover their own spaces, right? Not the man. So if the man is making the run, they are always on the back foot. And we used to see this from Wenger's Arsenal as well, and they used to get exposed with every set piece all the time, and that was the beginning of the downfall. I don't know. I really am not a fan of the zonal marking system. I think man to man is the way to go.
yeah. But yeah, speaking about United's performance, it was pretty shambolic, like you said at the first half. I can't believe West Ham only scored one goal in that match. I was so
Yeah,
surprised.
it was.
I was expecting them to score so many more goals in the first half and even in the second half, actually, at the beginning of it. United didn't really click in. Then they scored. And I think they just needed that one goal. Then after
Yeah.
that, they sort of clicked. And I still felt that West Ham still put up a fight. So credit to them. But
Yeah, Bowen could have actually scored a second. He just like you know the cross was a bit too fast for him, and it just missed. Henderson was caught in no man's land. No fault of his own. Like you know, he was covering another man. But again, the second half performance was way better because of the substitutions, and that's not something that Ole always gets right. And we saw that against PSG, where he didn't make the substitutions at the right time. But this time he recognized that we're not controlling the midfield. We're not creating anything. Or it's damn lucky that we had Bruno on the bench. Like to have someone like Bruno and Rashford actually also on the bench. That was good. But if we are so reliant on Bruno Fernandes, there is going to be a time where if he's being played a lot, he's been playing a lot, and he's going to get injured. Touch wood, he doesn't, but it happens, right? You can't overwork someone. He's still a person. So if Bruno gets injured for like maybe even a month, that's going to be really detrimental for United.
yeah, definitely. I think putting Bruno on the bench was part of Ole's plan to, try and get this team adjusted without Bruno, as well as put Pogba in a position where he would want to play in. Clearly,
Yeah,
none of that worked, and he still had to go back on Bruno and see where it took him. And yeah, you guys won the lead.
but
You guys got the lead.
yeah, once he came on, what was it? He created 8 chances in 45 minutes. That's insane. Like even for a full game, creating 8 chances like is really high. So the fact that he could do that, I really don't know where this team would be without Fernandez. And I feel like I say this every single week, but every single week he makes it more and more apparent.
Yeah, he really wants to play for United. I
Yeah,
think it's just that. I think he really respects the club, and he really wants to play, and he's putting in the shifts. So
yeah, you love
yeah,
to see that. We need more of them type of characters instead of the I wouldn't say the Pogba type of character, but yeah, I would say actually. You know, Bruno was fighting for the club, and Pogba doesn't always seem like he's even fighting for himself at this point. Like he's just been shambolic. But the goal was good. That was Pogba's specialty. He curved it around three players or something, and that's what we want to see more of. Him getting into those dangerous positions, and I
I
want to
think,
see what happens tomorrow against Leipzig.
yeah, with Cavani and Martial out, I think it'll be interesting. But United
Yeah,
normally, when they're in a situation where they have to perform, they usually perform. Uh, I mean, I just get a lot of Everton vibes where like Ole came out and said that they were destined to fail. That the management wanted to fail, as in the Premier League wanted them to fail that match. Everybody around them, and still they got back the win. I feel like United players, especially, they thrive on these kind of situations where
yeah.
they're in a place where it's like a do or die scenario, and then they just pour their hearts out. As in, it happens almost every season when Liverpool comes to United at Old Trafford. Like, however bad United have been playing the last couple of games, they'll put on a performance of their lives when Liverpool comes, just because of that emotion, right? It's like a do or
It's
die.
easy to easy to motivate. I think like yeah, Roy Keane and all the United guys used to say like when Liverpool came to town, Ferguson didn't have to say anything. They knew what they had to do. Maybe with even Arsenal at that time, they knew like we are going to war and we are going to win. But those guys had it for all the games as well. So we need to see more of that. You know, I like this comeback thing. Like I wouldn't like to see them concede, of course, but I like to see them, coming back from games and winning them and showing that emotion. It means a lot to the club itself. It's in the ethos of the club, right? So we want to see that from these crop of players. And when they do, they understand more and more what the bad is about. And that's when I think it's going to get better.
I think the
Obviously,
last time
tactics is
I
going to
think the
play a
last
big
time
role.
United lost an away game, it was back in Anfield last
Yeah.
season, which was, I think, in Jan or Feb, beginning of 2020. So
It was a long
a
time.
year, to go almost a calendar year being unbeaten away, I think that's pretty good record, and I think I think that's a motivating factor. I think Ole came out and said after, not last game, but the
Southampton.
previous two, I think, at Southampton, and he came out and said that he had no idea that they just set the club record for eight straight away wins, and I think that's a lie. I think that's bullshit. I think he knew exactly what kind of path they were on, and he uses this to motivate them. But sadly, he has nothing to motivate them when they're at home and there's no fans. And
Yeah.
like you said, like he needs he needs to find something to motivate these players. I think that's what it is. It's just a lack of motivation.
No,
And
and he does have his downsides to his management as well. Like I
oh,
think that
oh,
PSG
definitely.
game was
Oh, yeah. That we could talk about that for like an hour. But
okay. Let's not go into it too much. Let's keep it very simple in the sense that like you need to change the game at some point. I think the PSG game is like proper testament to where he fails as a manager, not to realize that there's a problem and make those changes. Be brave enough to make those changes. And especially against PSG, we had five substitutions. Uh, a lot of people saying taking off Fred wouldn't have been the right move. I disagree with that because it just looked like it was going to happen. But uh, at least he in the West Ham game he showed that okay, I need to change the game, and this is the changes I'm going to make. If he keeps doing that and he realizes his mistakes, tries to adapt, I want to see him like get up from his managerial seat and in the technical box and yelling at players. Getting the job done. If
I don't think as long as Ole's at United or his tenure at United, I don't think you'll ever see that. I don't think you'll ever see him be like, a Pep or a Klopp or even an Arteta, where they're in the technical area, they're on the
We
touchline.
don't want to. We don't want him to be like an Arteta, so that's absolutely fine.
I guess, but I don't think he knows enough about management, in-game management, player management, as well as tactics, for him to do what Pep and Klopp do, say on the touchline, or Bielsa for that matter as well. He's inexperienced, and I don't think his tenure at United will be long enough for him to gain that much experience. That's what I'm saying. But I don't think he might, in his career, in his managerial career, he might go on to do other things where he might transition into that kind of manager. But unfortunately, in United, I don't see that. I don't see that happening.